It's okay to change your mind. Self-discovery, it's ongoing. It's never stopping. Relationships are a beautiful part of this life, but they're not easy. Go into things, you fail, okay, great. Next, we're moving on. That is the fastest way to your next blessing and your next door. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Unposted podcast. My name is Liz Bezler if you're new here, and we are on episode 23, which is insane. I'm not good at math, 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, almost half a year in. The fact that I had to count that out is embarrassing, to be honest, but I've never been a math girly, so don't judge me. That's insane, but if you've been here from the very beginning, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in every week. I see the numbers, and I know that there are people that return every single week, and it really does mean so much to me that you are, one, supporting me in my journey, but you're also supporting a bigger purpose, which is spreading more mental health awareness to as many people as we can. That is the goal. Every single week I hop on this podcast, my mindset is like, how is this episode going to help somebody else? What am I going to say that's going to maybe change somebody's perspective, change how they look at things, help them heal, whatever that is. Like, that is the goal every single time I hop on this mic, and no other goal. The fact that we're on episode 23, you probably can go back if you're new here and find an episode that really resonates with you. You know, everybody has, so far that I've had on here, has had a completely different story. They've been battling with, completely different things in their lives that a lot of people wouldn't know based on their social media or what they post online. So if you're struggling with something, scroll back through my episodes. Maybe you'll find somebody that resonates with you and your story, and can give you a little piece of advice that'll help your healing process. So today's episode, we're going to hop right in. Today's episode, we are doing 10 things I've learned in my 20s. Now, I'm 28 years old. I'm getting close to 30, which is absolutely insane because I feel like I just graduated high school yesterday, to be honest. Like 10 years. I've been in LA for almost 10 years, and it's just insane how fast time flies. Once you're out of high school, time flies so fast. So if you're still in high school or in school, cherish those times. Don't rush it, because you're going to look back and be like, where did all these years go? Once you're nearing your 30s and you're getting older, time is going to fly so fast. So enjoy your time. But here are 10 things I have learned in my 20s. And if you're not in your 20s or in your beginning of your 20s, if I would have known these things sooner, I would have looked at life and situations a lot differently. So let's get into it. So number 1, self-discovery is ongoing. So whenever I was younger, I would compare myself to people online, to my family, to my friends, and just compare my growth and my progress in my career, my social life, in figuring out what I want to do, who I want to be. I was always comparing myself and being like, well, why don't I have it figured out yet? You're required to figure out what you want to do at 18. You're required to figure out what school you want to go to and what you want to major in and who you want to be and who you want to marry and who, all these things that you feel like you have to have figured out. And whenever you look around, you're like, wow, everybody has everything figured out. At least it feels like that when you're, in your own head and in your own body. You're like, why don't I have things figured out just like everybody else around me? And, what I've learned is that self-discovery is a lifelong journey. Like, I am not the same person I was 10 years ago when I graduated high school. And I feel like there's this pressure around, finding your job and finding your husband and having your kids and doing the things and figuring it out. And that's it. That's the direction I'm going in life. And I got to lock in. And I've realized through my 20s is that, again, I am changing constantly. I'm not the same person. I don't have the same career goals. I don't have the same life goals. I don't have the same style. Nothing is the same from 10 years ago when I graduated high school. And what I've realized is that is okay. Like, I am never going to be in a place where I'm not going to continue learning more about myself, and that's opening myself up to new relationships, new opportunities, new career paths, new hobbies. It's constantly discovering something new about yourself, which I think is a beautiful part of life, because again, we're always changing. Because we're always changing, we can't compare ourselves to people next to us, like their path is so different than our path that, let's say they like this and they like that and they're locked in on their career right now. Just because they're at that point in their life doesn't mean you have to be at that same point in your life. Like, again, all of our timelines, we're all on different timelines. So discovering what makes us happy in that moment, is a beautiful thing, but it might not be the same in a year or 2 years or 5 years. And that self-discovery is going to constantly be, moving. It's constantly going to be growing and like learning. At age 20, I really enjoyed dancing, and that was like everything I wanted to do. And now I'm 28 and I'm discovering right now I really enjoy directing and being, behind the camera. Like, that's what I love doing. So you're constantly learning about yourself. You're learning how your mind works, how you react to things, how you react to people, situations, how you overcome obstacles in your life. Like, everything that is thrown at you, a lot of times they're different, and you're learning yourself and how you cope with things or how you push through things. We're constantly evolving and changing. Like, that's how we grow. And one big thing is it's okay to change your mind. Like, it's okay to have a different opinion, like, let's say you feel this way about how you want your career and your financial life to look. And few years later, 10 years later, like, you know what? I actually have a different opinion on that now. It's okay to change and evolve. And again, this is all self-discovery. It's ongoing. You're never going to reach the end. It's never going to stop. So just embrace that. Stop comparing yourself, because your life is beautiful and it's so different than everybody else's. Self-discovery, it's ongoing. It's never stopping. Let that, give some peace to your mind, that we don't need to keep comparing our lives to other people. And, everybody looks like they've got it figured out. Everybody's going through their own evolving and their changing and their self-discoveries. So that is my number one. Number two is that relationships take work. And this seems like a no-brainer, right? But the reality is, no matter what relationship you have, whether it's friends, a family relationship, a romantic relationship, they all require work. And as I get older, I realize, if I want to stay friends with this person, I have to put in the effort to see this person. Now, in high school, we go to school and we see the same people every single day. You're not forced to be these people's friends, but, because you're in the same environment, it's easy to maintain that relationship. Whereas now that I'm older, I've moved out of my parents' house many, many, many years ago. I'm not around my hometown friends. I'm in a new environment, not so new anymore, but it was a new environment where I have to create my own relationships. I'm in a romantic relationship with my partner. And if I want to keep good relationships with people that I care about in my life, my family, my close friends from high school, obviously my partner, like, I have to put in the work. So it's like, hey, me and my sisters grew up together, but if I want to keep that relationship strong, hey, I got to call them up and check on them and make sure they're doing good, or plan the next time I'm going to visit home. If I want to keep that relationship with my parents or my brothers or my grandparents, like, that is on you to put in the effort. Relationships are a beautiful part of this life, but they're not easy, and being difficult doesn't mean that you don't love them and don't enjoy being around them. It's just, sometimes it's like, I need to call my siblings, and tell them, just catch them up on life. And sometimes that can feel like a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's like, I got to have a whole conversation right now. It's a lot of energy, especially after working a job and doing all of your things. Like, it's tiring to have to be like, I'm going to call up my best friend and like see how she's doing. As much as you care about them, it is a task, and it shouldn't feel like that. But sometimes it does, because we all have our life. We all have things going on. But it's important that, if you want to maintain those relationships strong, which I believe is a number one most important thing, is to keep the people that you care about close to you. And so keeping those relationships, it's work. It's not always going to be easy. And, you know, I've let some friendships kind of drift apart that I wish that's on me, you know, and it's not just on me, it's also on them. So don't put too much pressure on yourself if you feel like, oh, I let that friendships, you know, go away. It's on both of you. The friendship is two people, no matter who it is, work, friends, family, you know, your spouse or your boyfriend, whoever that is. Like, it's a two-sided street, but make sure you're putting in the effort to really keep those relationships tight, because at the end of the day, like, that's really all that we have, right? We have the people that care about us. So it's really important to keep those people tight. So then whenever you are going through a hard time or you have a traumatic experience, you have a group of people that is surrounded by you, that loves you, that can help uplift you and make you feel better. So, you know, you don't want to just run to people whenever you're having a hard time, but you want to have those people close to you in your circle. So when you are going through something, you have that tight-knit group of people that you know are going to be there for you. So that's my number 2. Number 3 is failure is a part of growth. And I had a really hard time like digesting this when I was young, because I just wanted everything to be a yes, 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 yes. I got this, I got this, I got this. And the second I realized that every time I'm told no is a yes, you know, down the line is a door that's waiting to be opened for me. Every time a door closes in my face, I now know that didn't happen for a reason, because God's got bigger plans for me, and he has a door that I can't see, that I'm blinded right now. I don't know it's even there, but it's going to be waiting for me when the time in my life, when I'm ready and I'm prepared for that door to open. So anytime you fail, you know, you fail or you get rejected, it's a yes. Just remember that. It's really hard to, you know, shift your brain to think that way in a rejection, because you honestly just feel like shit about yourself. But I promise you, every failure that you've been through in your life will turn out for your good. And the second you can start realizing that in the moment of a rejection or a failure is the moment that you are going to be able to push forward stronger than ever. And that next opportunity will come even faster. So learn. They always say you want to fail fast. You know, you go into things, you fail. Okay, great. Next, we're moving on. That is the fastest way to your next blessing and your next door. So remember that, because that is like, I think one of my biggest, my favorite things I've learned in my 20s, you know, because I used to be like, I didn't get that, and then dwell on it forever. Don't do that. Okay. Number 4 is not everybody will understand your journey. Again, we're all different. We all have a different path. We all enjoy doing different things. We all see our life ending in a very different way, and that is okay. Nobody has to understand your journey or feel confident in your journey but you. You are the most important person in your journey. So if you are confident in your journey and you know this is the way I gotta go, follow your heart, because you're always going to end up regretting it if you listen to everybody around you. Again, nobody is in your body. Nobody is in your mind. Like, nobody is living your life but you. And it's your responsibility to take the reins of your life and push it in the direction that you want it to go. Again, we're not living for anybody else on this planet but ourselves. And at the end of the day, we have to go to bed with ourselves. And if we're doing things that make us happy and that are best for us, then you're going to live a happy and fulfilled life. But if you're living for other people, you're not going to have a fulfilled life, and you're going to get old and be like, why did I listen to people? I wish I would have done life so differently. So nobody has to understand, not even your parents. A lot of times my parents have not understood my journey, and that's okay. And they don't have to. And you also don't have to explain things to people. Like, if you know in your heart, this is the journey for me, I can tell you about it. And if you don't agree, that's fine. But I don't have to go and explain myself, because the most important thing is staying true to yourself and your dreams and your goals. And a lot of times people will try, maybe not purposefully, but they'll throw you off your path and you won't even realize, you know. So stay true to yourself. Like, really listen to your mind, to your heart, do what you want to do. And if it ends up not being the right path, at least you tried, and you can say, you know what, I tried this, and you won't have any regrets looking back in the future. Number 5, your career path may not be linear. You know, it's not a straight line. We all have these goals and these dreams. Like, you know, I have a production company now. Like, never in a million years would I thought I would have had a production company. But I had to go through so many different industries to end up in an industry right now where I feel so happy and fulfilled with, my career and my life. I went through dance. I went through the choreography. I went through music and social media and so many different paths. I even dabbled in sales with my dad, okay? Like, I went through so many different paths to get where I am today, and it has been the furthest thing from a straight line. I didn't graduate high school, move to LA, and open a production company and be like, boom, I'm ready. Where are the clients? Let's go. Like, it just didn't work like that. And nobody's path is like that. I don't care who you are, what you do, what path you're in. It's not a straight shot. We have ups and downs, and the second we can embrace those and learn from those is the second we're going to be able to just keep trudging forward and get that end goal even faster. And again, it's not linear. Like, you can be on a path to, becoming a doctor and be like, you know what? I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer, and switch paths, and that's okay. Like, it's not a straight path. There's not a tightrope that you're standing on and you can't fall off. Like, that is not our career and our path and our life. We're not stuck on this tightrope once we make our mind of that's what career I want to do. Like, now I have to just stay in this box. That is not how life works. You have control to hop off the train, get on another train, and keep moving. So, not linear. Life throws you in all sorts of different directions, but it's all for your good, and it's all for your purpose, and it's all for your end goal. And you might not even know that goal yet, but you're going to get there because it's all going to make sense later. Number 6 is learn to say no. So protecting your time and your energy is so important. I found myself being somebody who always says yes to people. And I've recently been like, okay, I need more boundaries on my life. I've been somebody who always wants to say yes and please people. And, and a lot of times that's taking away from the things that I truly enjoy or I have goals to reach. And saying yes to this does not align with my career path, with my goals, morally, nothing. It doesn't align. I'm just saying yes because I don't want to hurt this person's feelings or make them feel a certain way. When a lot of times, if we say no to a person, you can say no respectfully. You can say no and be like, you know what? I love that you asked me. And, I really hope for the best on this journey for you, but I just don't see my path aligning with that. So for this opportunity, I'm going to have to say no, but please come around next time and maybe it'll be different, or if you have another opportunity in the future where we could work together or do this together or hang out together, like, present me with something else another time. Like, you can say no to people and still have a great relationship. Like, if anything, people respect you more for having those boundaries. Like, you don't have to take on every opportunity or every obligation. I personally, I've worked in the micro influencer space for a bit now, and brands will reach out to me and ask me, to promote a product or to do a brand collaboration with them. And I have found myself saying no more than yes because it doesn't align with my brand. I'm like, I wouldn't be why would I promote that at all? If you don't align with somewhat of who I am or my brands or the messages or the messaging that I want to give to my audience, then it's a no. And it's not any hate on you or your product or the opportunity that you have presented. It's no hate on that, but it's just not a right fit. And I think the second we can start saying no to things, you gain so much power by staying true to yourself, and you gain a lot more respect too in the process because people be like, you know what? That girl puts herself first, and that's why she's getting ahead in life. Just because somebody asks us to do something doesn't mean we have to say yes. And if it's going to throw us off our path or, just become an obligation, you should never say yes to that. So no matter if it's a friend, a family member, if it doesn't align with you or it doesn't sit right with you, or you just don't have time because you're busy with other things, you shouldn't have to take on something that you don't have time for that's going to jeopardize the things that you do have in your plans that are going to push you forward or take you to the place that you want to be in your life. So don't feel bad saying no. It's actually a good thing, and it's very respected, at least from my perspective. Number 7 is mental health is just as important as physical health. I don't know about you, but growing up in school, a public school, physical health, we had PE and gym, recess. Physical health and movement was very important, always. Even like the foods you put in your body, right? Like our image and like making sure we're not overweight, or, we're getting all the right steps in, the exercise, all the things good for our heart and cardio. And we learned all about that, right? We learned all about our physical health, but we did not learn about our mental health. And our body is a tool to get around and do things in our life. Like, again, our body is just a tool. And I've said that from day one. Like, God has provided us with his body in order to go and live a purposeful life and spread his love, whether you believe in God or not, like spreading love and joy and doing great things out in the world. Like, our body is just a tool for that. And if your body's physically great, but your mind is not, you're still not going to be able to fulfill those goals and that purpose. Honestly, I truly believe mental health is more important than physical health. Because again, if your mind's not in the right place, your physical body is not going to be either. Like, you have to work on your mindset first. It's all up here. Even with like physical exercise, it's like, okay, how am I going to get to the gym today? I'm using my mind. And if my mind is not healed, I'm not getting to the gym because I'm not going to be motivated. I'm going to be insecure. I'm going to feel like crap. I'm going to be anxious. All the things, they both go hand in hand with each other. Just like if you don't put your physical health first, it can affect your anxiety and your mental health. So they're both so important. And, before, when I moved out to LA, I was so big on physical health that I left my mental health in the dust. And now I'm having to kind of pick up the pieces from the several years that I've kind of let my mental health go, because all I focused on was looking a certain way or being physically in shape, that, my mental health took a toll. It took a really big toll. So mental health is so important. If you have to take a day off for the gym for your mind, do it. That is going to be a long-term benefit for you, to always put your mental health first. Physical health is also important. Again, they have to have a nice balance. You cannot leave one in the dust. You have to balance them both at the same time. But yeah, put your mental health first. Figure out what you want in life, what your dreams are, what your goals are, what your triggers are, what things make your mind happy, whether that's journaling, words of affirmation, if it's getting up and going on a walk, if it's talking to a friend on the phone. Like, what is that thing that's going to make your mind feel better? Because a lot of times we know what makes our body feel better, right? We know what foods make it feel better. We know what exercise that you like to do. Maybe I don't like weightlifting, but I love Pilates. Like, we know what our body likes. Now let's take the time to learn what our mind likes, because again, our minds are so important. And when our physical health starts failing, all we're going to have is our mind, right? Like, keeping that mindset locked in, that's longevity. That's a long, beautiful life. Because from my personal experience, physical pain is not near as bad as mental pain. A physical pain, you got a broken bone, you got a sprain. Okay. Ow. It hurts physically, but mental pain, it's just so much deeper than that. And it's a lot harder to work past that. So keep that mind in check, because it's going to last a lifetime if you prioritize it. Number 8 is social media is not real. And I know that's everything this podcast is about. It's Unposted Podcast. We're talking about the things that are not posted online. I get my guests on here that talk about things that they do not post online. Social media is just a highlight reel. So all the influencers and the celebrities, we're just getting a little glimpse of their life. And most of the time, it's all the beautiful things in their life that is happening to them. It's never like the failures or rejections. Like, say an actor that you love auditioned for a movie and didn't get it. He's probably not posting that, but he's probably going to post the movie that he got casted as the lead role, right? We just don't know. We don't know what people are going through. And I encourage you, if you're posting online, to start sharing your story, because I don't think you realize how much of an impact your story has. Just remember that whatever we see from people online, whether it is a celebrity, an influencer, a friend, it's curated to be a specific look, right? So it's not real. And I talk about that really often on this podcast. Social media is not real. It is a highlight reel. Number 9 is time spent alone is valuable. For the longest time when I was younger, I was always wanting to be surrounded by people, my family, my friends, somebody to talk to, my boyfriend, whoever. I hated being alone. I just wanted somebody to talk to and hang out with. But what I found was the second I started spending time by myself was the second that I was able to actually listen to my mind and be like, what do I want in life? Like, I was able to get more creative, more clear on my goals, more clear on my vision, more clear on my purpose, more clear on the things that I was struggling with that maybe I should work out. Like, just being alone and taking the time to be alone by yourself is so valuable. And I really do believe there's so much healing in sitting alone and listening to your own mind and your own thoughts. Turn off your phone, sit and journal, read, whatever that is. Really be in touch with what you want. A lot of times we're surrounded by so many different things and we're so influenced by everybody else on how we should live our life, what products we should buy, the lifestyle we should live, what we should do for this, and this. Like, everything is so influenced that the second you just sit and you realize like what you like and what you want, like, that's valuable. Like, the skills that you learn by sitting with yourself and being with yourself is important. It brings self-awareness. It brings confidence. It brings clarity. If you go through different situations in your life, just sit in silence and let your brain think and process everything on its own without the outside world, giving their input. We have so much input from the outside world all the time that sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if I like that. Like, literally, I'll be scrolling on social media and I'm like, oh, this girl's wearing this top. Oh, it's really popular. Oh, I like that. And I'm like, do I like that? I don't even know anymore. Like, if I like something, like, I'm like, what is my purpose? Am I just doing this because it's popular and because everybody else is doing this? Or do I genuinely want that? So that quiet time, alone time to figure that stuff out is so important, because if we're doing things just because of the influence of other people, that is not going to lead you to a happy and fulfilled life. So I do think it's super important. Just sit with yourself, your own best friend. And at the end of the day, we have to live with ourselves and our thoughts. So we need to be our own best friend at all times. We're our biggest supporters and our biggest cheerleaders. So give that space to yourself where you can be alone and you can process your thoughts. And, you do write down all the things that you want in your life on paper that truly come from your soul and your brain and nobody else's. And 10, last but not least, live in the moment. I struggle with this really, really hard, where I'm constantly thinking, okay, what am I going to do later? What work am I going to get done tomorrow? Next week I have this. Next month I have this. Next year I have this. Always thinking of the next thing. Like, I am working on living in the moment and just having more fun. I know it sounds so silly, but life, it's gone like this. I'm 28. I told you the last 10 years have flown by. And I'm sure the next however many years I'm on this planet will fly by even faster. I want a fulfilling life with family and friends and laughter and joy. And with that comes being present in the moment that I have those things around me. I hang out with my boyfriend every night. We get to make dinner together every night. We sit on the couch. We hang out. Like, instead of being like, oh, I got to wake up tomorrow and do all this stuff. Like, yes, there's a time to plan your next moment, your next steps, right? But being in the moment, especially with your loved ones, is so important. Like, if you're doing something fun, be there in the moment. There's no reason to stress about work tomorrow because it's going to come. Like, if you're going to stress about tomorrow, you can stress tomorrow when you're on your way to work. Like, nothing is going to change the outcome of the thing that you're stressing about. If you're with your family or you're hanging out, you're doing something in the moment that you know what, I need to be present for this because this is fun. Like, focus on that, because life is about creating memories with people that you love, and those memories can really be stripped away if, you know, your head's not there. It's like worrying about things that literally don't matter. Like when we're old, we're going to remember the times, you know, that we got together with our family for Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, Halloween, whatever you do, birthdays. Like we're going to remember those times forever. And what a shame would it be to look back and be like, dang, that was like such an amazing time and I was not fully present. So that's how I think about it. I'm like, I want to be present in any situation, you know, especially that involves my family. That involves anything fun, just living life that's not work related, like really being in the moment, even with work, you know, like I'm very blessed to have a job that I love and work with people that I love to work with. And sometimes I'm like, oh, work. But I'm like, no, like this is such a blessing that I've worked for my entire life. And I just need to be more in the moment with everything I do and be more intentional on just being happy and enjoying who I'm with, what I'm doing. And yeah, I just need to have more fun. That was my 28. I just turned 28 last month. And my goal for age 28 was to have more fun because I feel like I don't have enough fun. So that was like a new bullet point that I just need to live in the moment. Like planning for the future is important, you know, but we need to experience and have fun and be in the moment, you know, like with the experiences that we're going through right now. So those are my 10 things that I have learned in my 20s. There's a lot more. I've learned so much, but you know, this one was a little bit more geared towards mental health and like our mindset. I do have a lot more that are more like business related, just like career driven based. So if you want that episode, just let me know. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode 23. Wow, insane. If you've made it to the end, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment because it means a lot. I'm really, really trying to grow this platform and, you know, bring on more and more people to come and share their stories. And if you know of anybody that has an amazing story to share, whether it's traumatic and somebody's overcome something really big in their life, or they're going through a healing process, you know, or just whatever life throws at you. If anybody has a good story to tell, I would love to have you on my podcast. So you can DM me either at Liz Bezler or at Unposted Podcast. And I'd love to chat with you more on whatever story you have to bring to Unposted Podcast. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. And just remember, you are so blessed, you're so loved, and you're always welcome here. This is a safe space for you. So yeah. All right. I will catch you guys next week. Bye.